Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round 3 of the ARC GR3 Championship season. I'm joined by Just.
Myself, alright there. How you doing, lateral?
Doing quite good myself. We are waiting for qualifying to get underway here from beautiful St. Croix in France, a staple of the ARC Championship season so far. Just us in the booth today, no Ruby. So it's going to just be Savoy and me. So fortunately, we're not going to be able to call Lobby C for qualifying. Or will we have updates on Lobby B's finishing position for the race? So that's a little unfortunate, but we have to work with the circumstances that we have. So let's go to our points slideshow. So let's have an update after round 2. Currently leading the way, we have Team 2, the Volkswagen Beetles, currently on top with, I believe that is 756 points. Then Team Brian, the Citroens, in second with 736 points. Mistral Motorsport, almost an underdog there. No one expected them to be up there quite as far as they were. In third place with, I believe that's 648 points. Excuse me, it's a little small on my screen there. Dynasty in fourth, the Porsches, plus Ultra, the Mercedes in fifth. Good Smile Racing, the Nissans in sixth. Always Ultra, the Fords in seventh. Global Offensive Racing in eighth with the Aston Martins. Yellow Sea Racing in ninth with the Jaguars. And then in 10th place, we have Pan Galactic Gargle Blasters in the Lexus. So as we move through here, we currently, in our Tier A points, we have Alex Rogers on a solid 300 points after winning the first rounds of the championship, with Chili in second place after his strong finish in the last race, and almost an underdog comeback in the first round, so he's doing a solid job with 277 points. We have Thomas TT in third with 262 points. Moving up to Lobby B, we have Mermaid Bubble on pole there with 237 points, Jans in second, and Nugatti in third. And then in Tier C, we have PRCDB, Techno Guy 1, and Tarbo Tenku. So now we're going to move over to our track guide presented to us by our very own Savoy.
Third round of the championships, and the drivers are heading to the Circuit de Sacqua B reverse track for tonight's race. Just less than 4.39 miles, 14 corners. It's a very wide racetrack. The tyres will be getting a huge workout here. We have raced here before, lots of straightaways. It will favour the Citroens, the Beetles and the Nissans too. Other than that, it's a very technical track. So this is a lap around the Circuit de Sacqua B with me by Savoy behind the wheel in the Porsche 911 to start our hot lap. Across the start finish line, we want to be on the right hand side of the track for turn 1 Bellevue, left-hander, third gear, 100 miles an hour. Use all of the track. Now you see why this is such a wide racetrack. Now get yourself in the middle of the corner, on the straightaway, sorry, for turn 2 Sanger. Fourth gear, about 130 miles an hour. This bit is completely fast. This whole complex is so fast. Turn 4 Jacquard. Little lift off the throttle to hit the apex of the exit of turn 4. And now back onto the right hand side for turn 5 Levant. It's a left-hander, second gear, 80 miles an hour corner. And now on to the Francis straightaway. You can relax a bit, get your mobile phone out, have yourself a bit of a treat, or maybe go on Instagram, take a picture while you're at it. You're approaching the first of the penalty burns here. That was turn 6 you just went by the way. Now you want to get your mobile phone out and put it back in your pocket, and then you get yourself ready for turn 7 Le Casbah, third gear, 105 miles an hour. Let the car swing out to the right hand side of the track, and you want to get yourself back to the left hand side of the track, down first gear to turn 8 Bridge. Short shift into second gear just to get the traction in the middle of the corner. Now we're on to another straightaway. Get your mobile phone out again. Get yourself, make another tweet about it, saying how long is this racetrack is. It's quite long. It's about over 2 minutes long. Back on the right hand side of the track, down to second gear for turn 9 Mignon. Nasty bump right there. That can upset the car quite a lot. Turn 10 here is Serfs. Now turn 11 Rosier. Flat out through there. Don't need to touch the curb at all. You're not like an amateur like I am. Now then again, another straightaway. Don't want to be treating because it's a bit of a corner coming up to turn 12 Irabla. It's a 90-degree right-handed corner, second gear, 70 odd miles an hour, and then going into penultimate turn La Villette. And then again, it's another short straightaway for turn 14, the final corner, all the way on. Use the curb. Turn 14 Arnon, third gear, just about 95 miles an hour across the curves, and then this is the last of the penalty rounds, and this is a lap around Croix.
All right, thank you, Savoy, for that beautiful track map. We're just actually getting qualifying underway here. See if I can move over to the race feed. Just here in Lobby A, a lot of the drivers making their way out of their pits for their out lap. I believe Lobby B is going to be starting soon here. But this track in the past has quite favored the GTRs here, Savoy.
It has. We did see back in season 1 with CJ and Kevmeister, well, it was called Bauka at the time. Yeah, they had a very strong show because, of course, Kevmeister won the race. You can't remember where CJ finished. Did he not finish third or something?
Yeah, he was up there. He was up second, third on the podium.
Yeah, so yeah, the Nissans could be very strong around here, but again, you can't count out the Citroen of Chile, because this track will probably favour the Citroen, would it not?
That it would, especially off the start line. These standing starts have been favoring the Citroen quite a lot, especially the Mercedes as well, but it hasn't been as strong this season as it has in past seasons here.
No. Just one thing before we can talk about the qualifying there is this: you saw the constructors' points there at the beginning. It's just amazing to think that Lexus have won the previous 2 GR3 championships, and they're rock bottom of season 3.
That is a very good point. That the car was so strong in the first 2 seasons, it had some good drivers behind it, but some that might not, they wouldn't necessarily say were the best drivers, but that still came out on top. So some felt the car was quite strong, but now we have some drivers that might not be considered as good as Lemmy and Dan's and drivers like that it's kind of falling back down the order. I mean, Thomas had a great first round, finished 2nd place, so that was a great result for the car, but in the last race that we had at Sardegna, he was not doing too good here. So we'll see how he comes out here. This is a very good track. It's usually very close battle pack racing. Even the Porsches here, even though not necessarily favored, have been in the hands of Alex Rogers before quite competitive up there. So we'll see if he can maybe wrench back some of those points that he lost in the last round there, but it should be interesting to see how it ends up at the end of the season. We might have a new manufacturer's champion at the end of this year.
Yeah, and also don't forget though, Thomas is also picking up a free grid penalty from his instance last week at Stegna, along with Stig, who is, correct me if I'm wrong, is in the Nissan.
That is true. Yes, he is.
And Contrail in the Jaguar too. So that's a 2nd straight race that Thomas has picked up a free grid race penalty.
That it is. So he's going to have some penalty points going on board here, and it looks like Contrail, who was on a flying lap, just had a bit of an abort there, letting Alex Rogers go by, who's on his flying lap now. So we'll see what he can do this year around this track in the Volkswagen Beetle. Again, the first 2 previous seasons he was in the Porsche 911, a car that many would consider a very strong, almost a meta car, if you were. But switching to the Beetle for this season instead of the 911, a car that's a bit better on fuel and tire wear, but not necessarily as fast on the track. So we'll see what he can do here as he just goes around the bridge halfway around the lap for his first timed lap, but still quite a full tank of fuel. Looking farther back in the pack here, there's quite the pack there on the Francis Straight here, led by the State, as we just mentioned a bit earlier, followed by PKM Zine. It looked like Hideki Sama behind him. So qualifying should be interesting this race. Back at the front with Alex Rogers here. One more quarter to go before he crosses the line for his very first timed lap. Let's see what he can do as he rounds Arnaud. Up to the line, does not dive into the pits. Yes, he will dive into the pits, so we're not setting a lap on his first lap, and Beckham will join him as with Contrail. So all the drivers want to burn as much fuel as they can here.
I'm just surprised that they've actually started doing this, and this is season 3. We didn't see this in seasons 1 and 2, didn't we?
No, we didn't. All the drivers would go out, they would set their lap, and then maybe make a pit stop. Jake Dennery, as we see him on screen, also doing it. So just fuel burning adds such an advantage when you consider that you have that much more time in qualifying with less fuel load to set a faster lap. It's something I guess the GT Sport community as a whole has figured out recently to just really give them a little bit of an extra edge, especially here in Lobby A. You don't necessarily have that, as our first time lap actually crosses the board, and it will be the Stig on pole with a 2:07.3. That's actually quite a quick lap.
It's a decent lap time too, but don't forget he said in this sense, so that's going to be the fastest car. Anyways, I'll look back at I'll watch Group B qualifying and I'll get back to you.
Alright, but I was going to point out that I believe when we raced this track in Season 1, the pole position lap time was set by, I believe it was Alex Rogers in the Porsche. And I believe he just matched that lap time on his first lap with almost a 75% tank of fuel. So the Nissan is strong here. It favors this track. Not too many tight corners to slow it down. If you can carry the speed through these corners, the GTR will favor you here. So it's a good lap from him, but we'll see what he can do. Chile goes provisionally second with a 2:07.4. He's still provisionally third, so the Porsche kind of doing its bit. Still quite a bit of fuel left in that car, and you can even throw a new set of softs on it. It's improve his lap times here. Currently with a 2:07.842. And yeah, Willie Wug, who crossed the line earlier, but I believe that was when he made his pit stop, or is he actually on a flying lap now? I think that might have been a flying lap at 2:08 flat for the Toyota Supra. So we'll see what can go on here. Everyone's kind of mixed up on track as we see Dan's making his way by Stig as he does a bit more fuel burning. He's currently in 12th place here. Let's see if we can watch him on his outlap. He's pushing it quite hard for his outlap, it seems. So let's go on board with Dan's for the rest of his outlap and see what he can do. The Mustang should be a favored car here, known for its very heavy straight line speed, not necessarily its braking and its turning capabilities. So it should be very competitive with the Nissan GTR. So let's see what he can do here as he rounds the middle sector, Sector 3, and about to enter Sector 4 here, heading towards Erable. Braking just on the where the curbing is on the left side, getting very good apex back on the throttle, not using all of his tires yet, but now he's back on it now. Now he's going to be pushing that car, wants to carry as much speed as he can around that very long and wide last corner, carry as much speed. No, he backs out of it. Backs out of it a little bit. That's a bit interesting to me. And now here he goes. Now he's on a charging lap, so we'll see what he can do throughout the rest of this lap here. Stig still provisionally pole, still doing more fuel burning. Half a tank left in his car. Kevin Meister will go 5th. Looks like PK had maybe a bit of an off there. So Kev Meister now doing a bit of fuel burning himself, but currently provisionally 5th, but a 2:08.9. That will possibly not keep him in Lobby A. He's going to have to be careful there. Stig makes his pit stop here for a new set of softs. Chile doing an excellent job himself, doing a bit more fuel burning in his Citroen. So still a long ways to go here in qualifying, as we're only 8 minutes through the 15-minute session, 2 minutes left until 5 minutes left. Let's toss it over to Savoy as his qualifying has gone underway, so we can get a bit of an update there.
Right, so there is just less than 10 minutes to go in Group B, and Janier, how we saw him qualify very well at Sedegna last week, he's currently setting the fastest lap time in Group B with a 2:08 8.626. He is only 33 thousandths faster than Mermaid Bubble in the Mercedes. Then you've got the gatekeeper, ARC Matty for the Citroen. He's just a quarter of a second off pole position. And then Thunderpig has just moved up to 4th in the first of the Fords. And then his teammate Defiant sitting there in 5th position. The top 5, though, separated by half a second in Group B. So very close here so far.
Thank you, Savoy, for the update. No Ruby to give us an update on Lobby C today, so back to Lobby A it is. As we just saw on screen, Alex Rogers will go provisionally 4th with a 2:07.9.
I've been promoted to Group B, not Group C now.
Beckham still currently in 5th place, following him with a 2:08 flat, and Contrail we just saw going 8th place with a 2:08.3. So not everyone finding their groove yet, as we're just about to hit the 5 minutes remaining here. I'm gonna just make sure we get the message up for everyone here. go. Stig doing a bit more fuel burning. So they want to make these cars as light as they can. Dan's will go provisionally second with a 207.4 on just under half a tank of fuel. So good lap from him, but he has time to improve. And he's not going to be able to improve in this lap. He's 3/10 down in the first sector. Back to Chili here. He was doing a bunch of fuel burning, but he's on a new set of softs this time out. So we might see him do another flying lap this time around. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do. PKMZ behind him, also on an out lap, doing a bit more fuel burning. No, he's just taking an offline here. So PKMZ doing the best that he can to stay in Lobby A this time around. The first race of the season, once again, he did not make it into Lobby A. The third place finisher in Season 2 did not make it into Lobby A for the first race of Season 3. So it shows you just how close the competition is this time around, this year. As I'm sure we'll have some more of the Tier B drivers actually make their way up into Lobby A for the race. We're farther back into the field with some of the drivers we possibly haven't seen yet. Actually, Lemmy, our Season 2 champion, has been fairly quiet this season. He didn't finish on the podium in the first race, absent from the second race, and here he is in the third race, but currently sitting 8th place with a 208 flat. So it's been a fairly quiet year from him so far, not having too much fun in that Jaguar, methinks. And currently back at the front of the field, we have Kobu GT going pole position with a 206.8, beating the lap record here in qualifying. Currently provisional pole by half a second over the Stig, who just started his next flying lap. But once again, as we mentioned earlier, he does have a 3-place grid penalty. Dan's on his flying lap, looks like coming around the end here, around the last corner. Arnaud, let's see what he can do. If he can improve from third, no, he's going to dive into the pit lane. Let's see what Chili can do. He just started his first flying lap after doing all that fuel burn. Let's go on board with him in his Citroen. Let's see if he can keep up that strong performance so far this year. Goes through Yakar now, and as towards Levant, he is purple. It looked like he was purple there, but I also saw a red split, so the game's a little bit weird here. So let's see what the Citroen can do. It shouldn't be as strong as the GTR in this second sector, but we can see it can carry the speed out through Levant. Now onto the Francis Straight. Do a little kink here in the road. Trying to get the draft of Jake Dan Harry here on the Francis Straight. You'll see what he is. It says his best is a purple, but he's also down by a couple hundredths there, so a bit confusing what the game is trying to tell me here, I'm not gonna lie. Ooh, very wide on the exit though, that might cost him here. Braking now for Bridge. Back on the throttle a little bit after Apex, trying to control the rear end of that Citroen. Can be a little tail happy. As he crosses the bridge, we'll see the split. He is up, he has improved. He could take that third place from Dan's. Give a message now for 2 to go. As he heads towards the final sector here at Saint Croix, going to go into Arablet. He's still up 2/10 up, so he has even gained more time. La Villette now, one more corner. Arnaud, this is where he can gain a lot of time. He's a second, almost a second off of the Stig, who just took provisional pole. But he does have a grid place penalty. So if Chili can improve, he could possibly dance and take second row on the grid here. We'll see as he crosses the line. It's going to be good enough for third, 207 flat. And with the Stig's grid place penalty, that would put him currently in second place. Looking farther out throughout the field, 1 minute remaining here. Dan's doing a bit more fuel burning. Not quite sure. He's on an outlap, so he might have time to do one more here. PKMZ currently 5th place, but he's on a fast lap, and he's right in the back of Thomas TT. We'll see if that might hurt him on his fast lap here. He might have to award. He was green in that sector, but now he's got the draft of Thomas TT in front of him. So maybe a little bit of a inter-team teamwork here. Using the draft of the Lexus in front of him to help him up the grid here.
I'm pretty sure PK was in a party chat with Thomas. I don't know if there was some sort of secret agreement between the two, maybe.
Doing an excellent job not to get in each other's way too much. Alex Rogers currently sitting 6th place on the grid. As we're about to get Quali over here, they're going to cross the line for their final time here. Time will run out before they cross the line. They will not get another lap. Will they improve? He does slightly improve, but he does not go up the order. PKMZ will cross the line in 5th place. The Stig currently our pole sitter. Thomas TT will not improve. He's currently in 13th. So currently the Stig at the end of qualifying with a 2:06.5, setting a new lap record here.
So what I'm seeing from Thomas's screen here, he's not going to be Group A because he'll be starting. Hang on a minute, I'm confused now. Shut up, Sean.
No. We wouldn't be able to make it because that's 13th, and with the 3rd place grid penalty, that's 16. So at the very least, looking at his time potentially, he could end up being in Group B. So currently the GTR's front row lockout, other than the fact, actually no, looking farther back in the field, Contrail in the Jaguar will go 3rd place, but he also has a grid place penalty with Stig. So Stewart's going to have quite a hard time looking at everything here. So let's go over currently the law. Let's have a look at our timing screen here. Currently on pole position, we have the Stig in first with a 2:06.5, Kobu GT in second with a 2:06.8, ERA Contrail in third with a 2:06.9. Once again, Stig and Contrail 3rd place grid penalty respectively. Chile in 4th, but he will be elevated to 2nd place. Alex Rogers in 5th, so he managed to improve towards the end of qualifying. Dan's in 6th with a 2:07.4. Beckham in 7th with a 2:07.4. PKMZ in 8th with a 2:07.8. Actually, no, Jake Dan Harry will bop him at the last second for 8th place with a 2:07.6. Willie Wugg in 10th with a 2:08 flat. Lemmy in 11th with a 2:08 flat. Kev Meister in 12th with a 2:08.1. Hideki Sama in 13th with a 2:08.6. And then Thomas TT at a 2:08.6.
Qualifying is just about to be ended in Group B here. We've got 10 seconds left. Do you want me to give you an order for that?
Yes, please.
So it's been between Nugatti, the winner from the Group B race at Sedegna, and the practice god himself, Croix. We understand that Croix-Magna's steering wheel had some sort of issue, so he went to the shops to get another one, and he blitzed like the pole position time, but he's gone down to 2nd. He's only just 25 thousandths of a second off Nugatti's time. Nugatti did a time of a 2 minutes 7.793 in the Porsche compared to Croix-Magna's 2:07.818. The Gatekeeper in 3rd, 2:07.940. And then you got, Defiant has just popped up into 4th. The Season 1 Tier B champion with a 2:08.171. Memory Bubble is 5th with a 2:08.473. Janier is 6th with a 2:08, but I think he might be on a fast lap here. Thunderpig has stopped. He 2:08.833. Then you've got Robocoping in 8th, ARC Nido 2:08.890. Findogast, who was actually up as high as 4th in qualifying, he's down to 10th. M3D, ACZ, Alex Gaiman, Marvelous, and Law rounding out the field, but he's done a time of a 2 minute 20.936, 13 seconds off pole position.
Wow. So we will have some of the Tier B drivers moving up to Tier A, and some of the Tier A is dropping back. We don't have an update on Lobby C, but once all the times once again are collected, we'll be able to tell you where everyone has qualified. So once again for Lobby A, we have the Stig in pole position with a 2:06.5, blitzing the previous lap record here, which was set by Kev in Season 1, which was a 2:06.
Alex
qualifying, yes, but I mean overall fastest lap was Kev with a 2:06.9. So he blitzed that fastest lap by 4/10.
And Law, what I was saying, he was like 13 seconds off the pace. He's just gone 4th, and he's went 2/10 slower than Nugatti's fastest time, 2 minutes 7.976. And he was the last to cross the line in Group B. Actually, I see another one. I don't know who that is. I'll come back to you.
So currently, without the penalties of the GTR front row lockout here in Tier A, but with the Stig's penalty, that should put him back into 4th place, which will elevate Kobu, Contrail, and Chile. Then you have Contrail's penalty, which will put him back into 6th or 5th place. So Kobu GT will be on the pole for the race, followed by Arc Chile, and then I think Alex Rogers would be in 3rd place here. I might be mistaken there. That is not a direct quote. But Chile and Kobu will be on the front row, with Alex Rogers being, I believe, roughly on the second row. So we do know how good that Citroen is, and with that buffer car possibility of the GTR between Alex Rogers and Chile, it's going to be up in the air who can win today. I can see 3 drivers who could take Tier A here.
Yeah, realistically. Go on then. I'm going to put you on the spot. Who do you think?
It's a toughie. The GTR is strong, but Chile and Alex Rogers have been on it this year, so it's hard to say. I mean, Kobu's got a history of messing up his races. He has a history of making mistakes. Alex Rogers and Chile haven't, and Chile is going to have the launch. I'm going to go with Chile.
You're going to go for Chile, the breakthrough. Wow. I think you could be on. I think you could be right there. I think, you know, as much as how improved Chile is, not to put any pressure on him or that, but I would say that Chile could be the driver to watch for this race. I mean, what a season he's having. 3rd in the first race, 2nd in the second race. It's only just a matter of time whether he can get that first W.
Yeah, he does know. Me and him in the Discord had that little discussion yesterday about that, but I'm sure that's in the back of his head. He knows what we're talking about, and if you happen to be watching and are in the Discord, I'm sure you'll know what we're talking about too. But looking farther back to the field for perhaps any upsets, I got Thomas Dan's, who's pulled into the pit, so never mind that. I got Thomas TT, Kevmeister, Lemmy. Who would you say? What was the top times in Lobby B again?
The top time was a 207.793.
207.7. So as it currently stands, that would be good for 9th or 10th place on the grid here in Lobby A.
Okay, and for Cro-Magna, he's just, I believe he's pulled into the pit lane, but it doesn't show what lap time he has done. Let me now pull up the live time in here for you. So Cro-Magna's fastest time 207.818.
8. That would also be good enough for roughly 10th, 11th then.
Okay then. So I could probably see Thomas racing in Group B here.
Yeah, no, he will be. That's a 208.6 that he did, with Hideki Sama slightly besting him with a slightly better 208.664 compared to his 208.692. And that's almost a half a second gap to Kev in 11th with a 208.1. So Hideki Sama and Thomas TT probably going to end up in Tier B, especially with Thomas's grid place penalty as well.
I think Kevin as well, because Laws did a 207.9. Defiant did a 208.171. I don't know what Kev did. I know it was a 208.1, but I don't know what the last two numbers are. But yeah, I think Kev could also be in a bit of trouble.
He's in that danger zone.
He's in the danger zone again, because he only just made last week's race, didn't he, by qualifying last?
Mm-hmm. But you will have potentially the 3 Nissans in the one lobby, although one does have a good place penalty. It should be some good points for the Nissan boys with good Team Good Smile Racing. We saw that happen at Sardegna with the Beatles. We had 3 Beatles in lobby A. All 3 of them had strong results, with Alex taking the win, and then Jans and Yanir at one point were battling for 5th place. I believe it was Yanir that finished 5th overall, and Jans finished towards the back of the grid after
no, Jans finished 4th and Janine finished 10th.
I got them backwards, but you know what I mean though. He finished towards the back of the field after his last round of pit stops, but it was still good solid points that put them up at the top of the Manufacturers Championship. So now that we have potentially the 3 Nissans in Lobby A, there should be some good points for them on tap.
Just noticed how Jans is not in Group B, so I'm wondering if he was racing today.
Jans I believe he could not make it for qualifying, but he's going to be here for the race, so he's going to be starting at the back of Lobby C.
Oh, now this has been a bit of a problem now, because the lobby host in Group A is Thomas, but he's going to be racing in Group B. So would it be down now? Now that's just opened up here, because I would assume Dan's would take over the
That's
host.
actually a good point. That's a bit unprecedented. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
so I'm guessing Dan's would take the host of.
So we might have
Group
to
A.
remake the lobby here.
Possibly, yeah.
Rono Thomas, I hope you're listening there in the chat. That's going to be something you guys are going to have to look at pretty quick.
Shice has hit the fan.
But I want to do one point highlight PKMZ 207.8. Good solid lap from him. That's going to put him towards the back of lobby A, but he manages to stay in it this time around in the 911.
I think PK's slower than Nugatti.
207.816.
I can't remember what Nugatti's time because Ruben's closed the lobby in Group B.
Okay.
That'd be a surprise if Nugatti's outqualified PK. Very surprising there, but
all right. Well, I do have that. Rono Thomas says that it's no issue. Everything was planned for if Thomas could not make it into lobby A.
Oh, good. Crisis averted. Also, want to have a bit of a shout out as well to this YouTube channel because we've just surpassed 150 subs.
That we have.
So let's get to 200 ASAP, and maybe Ron will do some sort of little charity or something, like get his head shaved or whatever. That's just a random thing.
We do have.
It won't happen.
Chris Ferrier. I believe it's Chris Ferrier. Excuse me if I'm pronouncing that wrong.
That's Dan's brother.
We do not know the bottom times of lobby B because the lobby has now closed. So we are unable to know about the times and who from lobby C would be moving into lobby B. That we do not know. We would have to wait on the official times to be posted.
And then I don't know if Ruby is going to host Group B because I think he's got other plans or something like that. We're not sure. So I don't know who's going to host Group B, in all honesty, too. If Ruby is not going to host that group.
I do believe all the times have been collected. They're just working on sorting their grid place penalties. Some drivers, as we mentioned, have a 3-place grid penalty. Both Stig, Contrail, and Thomas TT all have penalties. Then I believe there was another penalty for Ford Terminator back in lobby C. A 5-place penalty for him. So they're all getting that all sorted out. I don't know if he happens to be racing in lobby C. But we're getting that all sorted out.
I think we've just got confirmation that Lemmy is going to be in Group B as well. And Tomo we know. And Kev's also going to be in Group B too. So the defending Tier A champion is in Group B.
Wow. Especially when you consider his teammate Contrail did a lap almost a second faster than him.
I'll tell you something. What happened to the days of when Lemmy dominating the Season 2 championship? Wow, this
is a Jensen Button in 2009 from 2010. This is what we're seeing here. For those of you that know Formula One.
Wow, that's I would never ever expect to see Lemmy in that.
And that's not a bad lap from him either. It's a 208 flat.
Yeah, I think there was about at least 4 people in Group B were in the 207s.
Wow.
That's just amazing to think that Lemmy's in Group B. That really is.
I do have confirmation that Ford Terminator is not racing in Lobby C, so he will have yet to serve that penalty.
And probably hasn't bought a new steering wheel in the process too.
I don't think he has. He's not pulled a Croix, who will be in Lobby A this time. The new supervisor to ARC, I should mention, got promoted yesterday. So he's a new supervisor here. Practice God Croix. He's already got his nickname. Practicing all week, consistently hosting lobbies, and it seems to have paid off for him now. So actually, not even when you think about the fact that his wheel died today and then went out and bought a new wheel 20 minutes before this race and had to adjust to it and is now in Lobby A, that just shows you how much practice he's actually putting in for this race.
And he was on pole position for most of Group B too, with a brand new steering wheel too. I mean,
so not even worrying about getting your force feedback set up. That's just going out and doing a lap, basically.
quite literally. I mean, that's it. But I mean, let's not forget, CRubennnn has been really good in qualifying. I mean, in the first race, he qualified 5th overall.
Mm-hmm.
We see them in the McGann Trophy Cup, and he qualified very well in that as well. It's just all down to race pace and how can he do that, because his race pace isn't really the best, but you know, we hope it'll improve as time goes on. But I mean, the qualifying's there. It's just needs to learn that race pace.
All right, so everything has been posted. So, excuse me. I was about to say it was posted. I think they just took it down, but they did note host changes. So, the lobbies will have to be remade here. Thomas TT will be hosting B, but you will be with me in A, which will be hosted by Dan's. At least that's what I saw. So, I'm waiting for them to remake these lobbies so we can get racing underway here. They did post the times, but they just took them down. I guess there's a slight calculation with those. So, well, ladies and gentlemen, until the time that the race starts, we will be right back. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we do have an update for you on the position of everyone in qualifying here. So it is, in fact, Kobu GT on pole, the 206.845. Chili in second place. The Stig is in third after his grid place penalty. Alex Rogers in fourth. Contrail in fifth after his grid place penalty. Dan's in sixth. Willie Wug in seventh. Beckham in eighth. Jake Dan Harry in ninth. Make sure I have all my things right. There we go. Nugatti from Lobby B. Solid qualifying from him to get himself into 10th place in Lobby A. PKMZ in 11th. Crow Magner in 12th. Maddie in 13th. And Lot 226 in 14th. So we have 4 Tier B drivers all now in Lobby A. And then looking back at Lobby B, we have Ark Lemmy. As you did mention, Ark Lemmy is in fact on pole for Lobby B. Our Season 2 champion on pole for Lobby B. Followed by Defiant 195. Once again, the 2 teammates from Lobby Season 2. Kev Meister in third place for Lobby B. Robocopy in 4th, Mermaid in 5th, Janier in 6th, Hideki-sama 7th, Thunderpig 8th, Nito in 9th, Findo Gask. Want to make sure I'm getting all these places right. 24th overall. I believe that's 10th. I was on 10th. That is correct.
What's that, sorry?
I'm trying to make sure I get all these times correct in their starting positions for the lobbies. I believe that's Thomas in 11th and Chris, Dan's his older brother? I'm not quite sure. But they are brothers, and I believe that's 12th for lobby B. Then we have ACZ Alex starting on pole for lobby C, Techno Guy in 2nd, lobby C, Preddy in 3rd, Marfless in 4th. So not a good qualifying from Marfless there. Havoc DK in 5th, Tarbo in 6th, Kiyu in 7th, Turticus in 8th, Percy in 9th, Pingophone in 10th, Nut DP 11th, and then Jans, starting last place of lobby C because he missed qualifying. So that should be everyone's laps here. So we have some familiar faces from past seasons now back in lobby A. Notably Maddie, another one of the Citrons, making up for Tay the Day's absence here. So good qualifying from him.
Just looking here, just looking at the times here, Stick should be 4th, and I believe Contrail should be 6th.
That's grid place penalties.
Yeah. But I'm just looking at the times here because both the Stick and Contrail were in the 206s. They would have been provisionally 2nd and 3rd.
No, Stig would have been pole, and he has a 3-place
grid
penalty.
Stig would have been pole. Sorry. Yeah. It says here 3rd, but he should be 4th.
3-place grid penalty, you put him 3rd. Yeah, that is a 2 position.
Yeah, that's 2 positions, isn't it? So, and Contrail here did a 206.967, which would have put him in 3rd.
It might have been the way they've done it. They might have done Contrails first, and that might have put Stig into 2nd, up into 3rd instead of 4th after Contrail's penalty.
But
it might have been the way they did the penalties.
I was going to say Contrail was 4 tenths slower than the Stig's time. He would have been provisionally 3rd. So if Contrail should have been 6th, and Dan's would have been promoted to 5th. Looking at my screen here, I mean it's a small screen that I'm looking at, but well, I don't know. We'll see what happens during the race. They're just having to stop checking now. I'm just wondering, Stick will still get credited for the pole because I seem to remember Lemmy got the pole position. Was it at Monza? I can't mind if it was at Monza back in season 1, but he also had a grid place penalty. But he still got credited with the pole position, so I'm guessing.
I get Stig. I'm still thinking about the penalties here. I get Stig because he would have gone from pole to 4th, and then Contrail got the penalty, so he's put back in the 3rd. So I get that. So then Contrail, I guess they have to factor in the fact that Stig was there, so that I guess that counts as one of the penalties. So it's a bit weird how they did it, but it makes sense. It's always weird like that when you had grid place penalties on top of grid place penalties. It's a bit weird. It's just how it is.
I'm still not sure about that because Contrail was still slower than the Stig. So he would. So, I mean, if he didn't have that free grid penalty, then Contrail
would be
both of them
3rd.
Would have been 3rd. But since he's got a free grid penalty, he should be 6th.
No, Stig. Okay, because Contrail got the penalty, so Stig it would have been 4th, and then they do Contrail's penalty, right? So then Stig moves down to 4th, then they do Contrail's penalty. So that's Stig's position, Alex's position.
Yeah, right. I get it now. My brain was not working, people. I do apologize. I was just too busy looking at the times and that, and I forgot I've got to write these drivers' names down, and I don't know what tires they're starting. That's oh dear, that's my bad. Let's see here. I think you got it right. I believe you have.
Yeah, Contra believes he's Contrail should be 6th. You are right. Thomas just noticed it now. Nono has noticed it, so Contrail should be 6th. You are correct. You are correct. I believe they're
Stand up and bow to me.
So everything's just trying to get everything sorted out. It's just how penalties work. So sorry for the long wait towards going into the race.
It is awful confusing, don't worry. Anything else we should want to talk about before they will start the race? I think, well, they did their stock checks, so...
That they did, but they're just sorting out the grid places now. Some people were in the wrong spot. That's on Dan.
Yeah. Silly Dans.
So we should be underway here momentarily.
So this will be the first time that the Gattis beat in Group A. The first time that Matties, this season at least, in Group A. So we'll have at least 2 Citroens in Group A. Law, it will be his first time in Group A. That there will be 2 Toyotas, I believe, in the field. Only 1 Mercedes, 1 Ford, 1 Jaguar, 1 Beetle, and a few 3 Nissans. So, like you said, this will be a good points day for the Nissans.
Third stick 4.
Are we still live, by the way?
Yes.
All right, good. All right, okay. I was just waiting for your response there, but
still trying to. I guess they're still trying to figure out how all these penalties work. I don't believe we have a precedent here in ARC on whether penalties are assessed going from the lowest grid place up to the top, or from the top to the bottom. So I believe if they went from top to bottom, Stig would be 3rd, Contrail would be 6th. But if they went from bottom to top, Contrail would be 6th, and then Stig would be 4th. So either way, Contrail would be 6th, but depending on how they want to do it, it would be Stig in 3rd or Stig in 4th. So they're still trying to sort that out and what kind of precedent we need to go for. I believe they sorted out that Stig would be in 4th and not 3rd.
Wow, that's pretty interesting here. Looking at my screen, that the new pole-sitter Kobu GT is deciding to start on medium tires, and the cars around them are all going to be on softs. So that's an interesting strategy from Kobu.
All right, well, I think we're getting underway here for the start of the final. So let's move over to the race here. Once again, on pole, we have Kobu GT in the Nissan GR, followed by Chili in 2nd, Alex Rogers in 3rd, the Stig in 4th, Contrail in 5th. Well, I guess they'll have to sort this out afterwards because we're going to get underway here as the lights are going to start coming on here. Let's go on board with Kobu GT here for the start of this race. The lights are on and they're going to be out underway now. Is the race. Let's see if I can actually get the camera's working here correctly. Actually, Chili rockets into the lead here. Here we go, looking back off Chili. Kobu GT will hold on to 2nd place. The turn 1 Alex Rogers will hold on to 3rd place. And it looks like Contrail got an excellent start to get himself up into 4th place on the stars. There's a bit of a cluster towards the back of the field here. Dan's moving up into 7th place. He's got Willy Wug and PKMZ all over the back of him now as they enter Sungit and head towards Europe.
Bit of contact there between Croix and Law in the back of the field, but yeah, good start from Chili. Oh wow, he's actually putting away. Look at that battle going.
Well, this is what he needs. This is what he needs. Kobu GT starting on the mediums now means Kobu GT has a train of cars behind him, and this is what Chili wants because he can now build that gap on his soft tires. Kobu GT is acting as a blocker for Chili in this race.
That's a massive train right behind them.
And the power of that GTR makes it so that no one can really pass him on the straightaways. This is exactly what Chile needs.
It's just the perfect strategy there for Chile there. We get the battle going off further back through the field. It's going to bridge for the first
Ooh,
time.
contact between the Stig. Contact between the Stig and Dans, but they get out of it fairly fine. But no, ooh, Stig almost loses the back of it there. Unless you can get a replay on that.
He got fishtail, massive fishtail at the end.
Let's see what happens here. Going on board with him, he tries to stick his nose in, bit of contact with Dans, backs out of it, and then goes wide on the exit, gets too early on the throttle and clips the inside wall, but no damage to his car.
Yeah, I was just about to say, he looked like he was going to back out of that pass on Dans, and it was too little too late. Contact was made.
Still battling for that 7th place, the PKMZ back at the front.
Contrails passing Rogers possibly for 3rd place, going into La Villette. And no, Rogers will still hold on to that 3rd place, but yeah, absolutely.
Oh, but Beckham looking up the inside, maybe? No, he's just moved out and looked. So Kobu GT still in 2nd place with a train of cars behind him. As you can just see by the camera there, it looked like PKMZ got a little wide and clipped the inside wall, but actually Stig will pick up a 2-second penalty here, so he's going to have to serve it here on the front straightaway, so that's going to drop him right back down the order.
Oh, Stig from provisional pole all the way down to like
11th place.
And he's got his teammate Croix behind him. 12th.
They can work together here through the twisty section onto the long Francis Straight, see if they can find a way by the super in front of Jake Dan Herring. And back at the front of the field, Kobu GT still doing an excellent job to hold off the rest of the field.
Oh, Contrail's gone wide. It is. Went through the grass. I think there was a bit of contact.
Stig picks up another penalty.
And Dans has just been collected. Contrail spun because Dans had nowhere to go. Short replay on that there. I think it was contact between
Contrail. I'm trying to get everything in the right positions here, but everyone keeps moving around. I can't find it. That's Maddie. I'm trying to find Contrail here to try and get the replay. I don't think I would be able to get it. Oh, but yeah, he just gets on the throttle too early. He gets on the throttle too early and gets in front of Dan's.
Before that, there was a bit of contact between Contrail and Beckham. Beckham was trying to pass Contrail around the outside, and that's what made Contrail to lose the rear. I also picked up Pro Magna picked up a 4-10 penalty, which he used his burn after turn 6 on the Francis straightaway. So yeah, it's all going on here, like.
And one man that's avoiding all of it is Chile at the front of the field. 2.8 seconds, 3 seconds now ahead of Kobu GT, who's trying to hold off Alex Rogers, who's on the soft tire while he's on the medium. This is the exact scenario that Chile needed. Looking farther back, we got Beckham in 4th, but he goes wide on the exit of that corner. That's going to set him up possibly for a pass from PK. Willie Walk doing a solid job in 6th place, climbing the grid after everyone's mistake. Bugatti, excellent race from him so far, currently sitting in 7th place with Dan and Jake Dan Harry behind him.
Bugatti there having a fun time up there, battling up in 7th
Now
place.
this image is why we race on St. Croix. The train of cars on these straightaways. It allows for some of the closest racing we're going to see on the calendar this year.
I think it was exactly the same like that in the season 1 race. I think that even though I was part of that race, I was still like at the back of another car. It was a massive train, wasn't it?
This is why we race on St. Croix. Not only is it a fun track to race on, super fast, bendy corners, very wide track, very easy to make passes, but it allows for close racing just like this. We'll go on board with Bugatti as he tries to battle in the pack. Looking farther up the field, perhaps it looked like Alex Rogers almost tried to make a pass on the exit of the corner on Kobu GT, but the power of that GTR is too strong for him to go by. This is not what Alex needs.
This is, the championship leader, although, it's still very early in the race, but there's already a massive gap developing between Chile and Alex Rogers, and it's all because of Kobu on the medium tyres and Alex on the softs, and it's allowing Chile to pull away. But it's just, as you say, the straight line speed of that Nissan.
Speaking of Nissan's going to go...
Oh! Sorry there. There was a bit of contact on the bridge between Beckham and PK. PK's going around the outside of Beckham, going into Muno, and sticks in right behind the Mercedes.
I was just trying to go on board with, I believe it was Croix there. A bit of a battle there with Contrails. They're almost side by side through Surfs and Rossier. But back at the front of the field, Chile has opened the gap to nearly 4 seconds, and Kobu GT is still holding on to that second place on his medium tires.
Dance is trying to recover now from that little incident with Contrail. He's in a 3-car scrap with Willie Rod leading that little battle, followed by the debutant Bugatti, and then it's the season 1 champion Dance in 8th place. Bugatti scrapes the wall again, picks up a 1.5. Willie Wog picks up a 1.5 second penalty. So that one, Dance just gained 2 places in 1 corner there on a straightaway too.
Let's get a bit of a replay here going up to the last corner, Arnaud.
The shortcut, I'm guessing the shortcut.
Yep. There was all 4 wheels on the inside of the white line, and then Nugatti went into the wall. Dance had to swerve to avoid both of them. And then Nugatti, Willie Wood, serves his penalty. So 2 positions for Dance there in the span of a single corner.
Willie Wood's gone down to 10th place as a result of after that penalty. He's under some severe pressure from his teammate Law. 2 Toyotas there battling together.
Actually, a bit of a battle here, but
it's free. It's free Toyotas, my bad.
There is 3 Toyotas, and we can see all 3 of them on screen right now. We can see all 3 of them on screen right now, trying to find their way by Maddie, the gatekeeper.
Tandem Toyota streaming here, going into a...
Ooh, Maddie! Maddie, I think he went... Was there contact? He went wide through the corner. He went into the wall. Was there contact? There was contact between him and Willie Wog, and that put him in the outside wall.
Yeah, definitely. They're really being a bit aggressive here.
Let's see if we can get another replay. From the outside view, that was a bit too far back there. So let's try that again.
Take 3.
Side by side, using this camera angle here, the chase cam. Yeah, Willie Wug, it looked like I don't know if that was lag or not.
I don't know if you noticed that, but did also Willie Wug do a bit of bump drafting on his teammate Jake?
Potentially, but that was position in my eyes. I'd let that one go just a little bit, because they're side by side with the car through a kink of a corner, and he's kind of boxed in that situation.
And now look at this, the battle for 8th place, and it's the 3 Toyotas all together. Croix looking on the inside. No, not going to make it.
It's like
Willie Wog wants a little bit wide. Now Croix, the practice god, on the outside of La Villette. Look at this.
Contrail's getting mixed in with it as well. Trying to follow Croix through. Oh, but he almost pushes. He pushes Stig off.
He pushes the Stig. He pushed his ERA teammate. Ooh. And now going into pits.
So let's get a replay of this. That's what happened in replay. So yeah, it looks like Contrail just went to go slightly to the outside for braking. Didn't notice that Stig was there, and I just pushed him offline.
Unbelievable scenes already, and already these drivers are, well, they make their pit stops for further and back there. So I'm looking here, seeing Law's got softs, which he started on mediums, so he's good to go. Willie Rog is on softs, yeah. God, this is all happening there, lad. This is only just 10 minutes in the race.
This is St. Croix. This is why we race here. Every season this race has been fantastic. It's still the battle for second place rages on. Kobu GT still stays ahead of Alex Rogers as he can't find a way by the powerful GTR.
Do you think back to Suzuka season 2 when Alex was all over the back of PK the whole entire time, and then we forced PK into a mistake, and then you know what happens afterwards? Do you think Alex would be learning from that? Or
I would hope he's learned. He says he's learned, but that still has yet to be seen, as it looked like a battle side by side between Beckham and PK. PK looking to the outside through the bridge. Will he get it? No, Beckham will cover him off. But no, he looks back to the inside, get a little bit of a look, but doesn't quite go for it. And there's a battle for 7th place, as well as Nugatti looking up the inside of Dan's, and will take back that 6th place from Dan's.
Good showing here from the Porsches, especially from Nugatti. This is his first time in Group A, and Nugatti on the medium tyres too.
Is that a Norwegian flag? Am I correct in saying that?
That's a Norwegian flag, yes it is.
I want to make sure I wasn't going to be mix up Belgium and Germany again. Don't want to pull that again. But the Norwegian doing an excellent job. I believe this is currently the best place finish the Norwegian has ever done in ARC, and Chile makes his pit stop.
I think, yeah, and so to Kobu and Alex. Now, I wonder if Alex is going to not fuel
Alex
and then get out ahead.
Alex saved quite a bit of fuel compared to what Kobu did. But
Yeah,
Chile
look at
did
Alex.
roughly the same amount, so we'll see where they come out now. But they both now have clear air. Alex jumps Kobu in the pits. They're all coming out of the pit lane. They're all getting mixed up in on the exit of the straightaway, and Dance comes out in a bunch of them. But Jake, on the back of Jake and Harry go wide on the exit of the first corner, trying to avoid Dance on the inside and scrape the outside wall.
And look at the two Toyotas side by side. Blue turns 2, 3, and 4.
The 3 Toyotas, excuse you. That Mercedes is getting swamped by Toyota right now.
Oh man, there's just battles everywhere you look.
And just in the back of the shot, I believe that is Croix-Magnon, I believe, in 9th place. No. Yes. 10th.
Yeah, 10th, yes.
Yeah. So you got Croix-Magnon in the back of this pack. Those supers are also good on the straight line, so Crow's going to have a bit of a hard time trying to find a way by. And even behind him, you got Maddie in 11th. So it should be an interesting battle here for the mid-pack with the rest of the race. And back at the front of the field, we still got Arca Chile leading the way here. 4.8 seconds to get out to Alex Rogers now that he has clean air.
Dear me.
But he's got Kobu GT on the back of him, that GTR. All he has to do is wait for a straight and retake that 2nd place. This race is not going Alex Rogers' way. It didn't go his way in Season 2 when he had the incident with Kev. And it's not going to go his way here today, I don't think.
Well, I mean, he did finish on the podium here, Alex, last season. But that was at a different track, wasn't it?
That was the full track configuration.
Yeah, that was the full track. I can't remember where he finished here last in Season 1 where we raced here, but
I don't know if he was here for this season. It might have still been G. Thanks Obama in that.
That was the penultimate round, so he would have been.
Yes.
But he did say in his interview he's not looking forward to did you see the sparks?
I saw those sparks.
Was that the Toyotas again?
Yep.
I was just about to say, Alex did say in his interview he's not really looking forward to this track. That, you know, his 100% win ratio could be under threat, and it's
definitely under threat here. And you can just see in this one sector alone, that one sector, half a second over Kobu GT.
You can see that Alex is pushing. He's definitely pushing, and he wants to close on Chile.
But he didn't gain any time on Chile through that sector. That was all Kobu GT losing time in the GTR. But you can see him claw it right back now that they're on the straight. 9/10. What is 9/10 when your car is an extra 10 kilometers faster? Like, he's already clawed back the gap that he had. Alex Rogers cannot pull away or close the gap.
I've just noticed here that PK, we haven't talked about PK this whole race. He started 11th, he's up to 4th. I only just noticed that. That's a big charge up.
He has made it. No, he hasn't.
Has he? He has. No, yes, he had made a pit stop. Yes, he did. Look at the battle for 5th on back. Sorry, no, that was Dan's. I thought he was like trying to block particular. It's 6th. Oh, I don't know. Help!
That's St. Croix. It's so hard for us to call. There's been a sparks.
More sparks.
I think that was Maddie actually who made it way by Contrail. Maddie and Contrail side by side though. Looks like Croix-Magnon behind them, and the Steger trying to get in on that with Nugatti in 13th after making his pit stop. Ooh, the Stig trying to go up the inside. The Stig made up several positions there. I want to get a replay of that. I want to see the move there that Stig made. Did he go to the outside? He does. And then he's going to have the inside. And he just takes the position. That was a good move.
That would be a Rabla. Yeah, good solid move there from the Stig. But again, that's a straight line. That's power of the Nissan will come into play there.
That it will. And you can still see how many cars are, just how close it is. Just how long these straightaways are. You can really see as this thing. Look at the inside of his ERA teammate Contrail. Not teammates in the championship, just ERA friends. This will be where Stig loses out and the rest of the field will gain time. This one sector. Go on board with Maddie to the exit of the sector. You can just see Steak goes wide, but Matty's going to look to the outside. Can he take the position? Go for the undercut? Potentially no. Actually, this Nugatti's on the inside.
I was just about to say Nugatti came into the pits in 6th and he's down in 13th, so was he done? I don't know, maybe, I'm guessing he made a longer pit stop, maybe? No?
Just take on
no, it's just less than 50% is Nugatti, so might have had a bit of an incident while we didn't watch this. What happened with Nugatti? Full spark's been kicked up. Croix just scraped the wall too.
A little bit of contact there between Matty and Nugatti. Matty gives him room, but not quite enough. Ooh.
Oh, that was very.
And that'll set him up. Croix for a move. Here he goes. Nugatti's going to go to the inside, try to cover it off, but Croix going to have the power to go on the outside and carry the speed through.
Yeah,
oh, but he loses exit in the corner.
No!
This
wow.
so the next. Ooh. St. Croix is always just a fun race.
Now, I was just about to say to Nugatti, if you're racing against Matty, welcome to the gatekeeper. He will try his best to defend his position.
Looking far up the field, it looks like we have another 4-car battle here for, I believe that is 9th place between the Stig, Jake, Harry, Eric Contrail, and Matty.
I tell you what, Kobu is very close to the back of Alex's Beetle. It's less than 3 temps now. Well, it's just shy of 3 temps.
And just in one corner alone, almost a 10th of a gain. The gap is equalized throughout the course of this track. It's just the cars are so specialized in each of their own special places that it's hard to gain time in one place and gain it back in another. Like you can see just through this sector alone, that gap just builds and builds and builds. It's almost 4 tenths alone in that sector. And then throughout the straights, then Kobu just builds it right back.
For Alex, he went wide. It's the exit of Levon. Yeah, like he says, I think the turning in the meet was a lot more power better than the Nissan. But this is where the Nissan gains all of that time back up. You can see him just eating that gap when he's in the slipstream.
He's not quite close enough at the end of the straightaway to make the move.
Yet, no.
And then meanwhile, at the front of the field, Chile still has that 5-second gap over Alex Rogers. He's done an excellent job to maintain that gap. Currently holds the fastest lap of the race with a 207.7, as we're just over halfway through.
Oh, Willie nearly ran right through bridge. Did you see that there?
I saw that. Ooh, yeah, it looks like this Law almost hit the wall, almost. Did he? No, he did not, but it was very close. His fronts are actually quite dead, Law will have to make a pit stop here quite soon.
Yeah, he was the first. He started on the medium tyres and did pit along with a few others that were on the medium tyres. But look at the battle there. Matty's gone to 10th and he's gonna. Oh no, he's actually freed himself. Now Contrail. Look at this. The battle. They're 3 wide for the 11th place.
Ooh. Nugatti trying to look up the outside. Nugatti will have the inside for this corner. Can he get it done? Does he have the power to get on the brakes? No, he doesn't.
And look at Contrail. They're 3 wide off the. Nearly. Dear me, there's battles everywhere you look. Go on, Crow, make a 3 wide. Go on. Bastards. Thought better of it. This is some incredible racing here. And these are guys that have been qualified in Group B. Crow's going into pit lane.
I don't think he's the only one. Nope, Jake and Harry will go with him. Back at the front of the field, Chile's got that 5-second gap. 3 tenths going into the second sector now is Alex Rogers over Kobu GT. But as their soft tires wear out, that gap will start to slightly neutralize.
PK sort of dropped back actually from Kobu. It's down up to 3.2 seconds. So PK must have had a moment somewhere. Dan's is still in 5th, with Beckham behind him in 6th.
The Stig back up into 7th place now after clawing his way through the rest of the field, actually.
That's because people have pitted. Some people are pitted. Stig will be pitted in this time by.
Yes, he's low on fuel.
Yeah. And then you've got Contrail in 8th, Nugatti 9th, which he can make a pit stop in a couple of laps or so. Actually, looking to the inside of Contrail into the Casbah, and he's got 8th place. He's past the Jack.
but Concho.
Ooh, did he squeeze? Ooh!
He didn't squeeze. He almost squeezed him, but Concho kind of went into the wall on his own a little bit there.
Tell you what, these Group B boys are showing some aggression to these Group A boys, don't you think?
I think so too. I think maybe perhaps this season that we've opened it up, that if you're fast enough in B, you can go up to A. I think that's definitely opened up the doors for a lot of people. They actually want to have themselves on screen here. They want to show.
Kobe stuck into the inside of Alex Rogers for second place. Going into the Rambler. Ooh,
not quite.
Getting it loose. Not close yet, but it's coming. It's definitely coming.
He's closer than he's ever been so far. Will Alex make a pit stop? He's within a tenth on the front straightaway. Kobe takes a slightly wider line to the exit of the corner, but Chile makes his pit stop, so will they react?
Yes, they do.
Yes. So look at the fuel. Kobe GT uses a lot more, but Alex 2% less than Chile, but Chile will still come out in front. That was about roughly the same what it was when they first made their first stops.
And Chile's gone to the medium tyres, so too is Alex. But then if you think about it, Kobe, he started the race on mediums. He doesn't need to change.
That's true. That is very true. So this could be the stint where we see Kobu GT actually really closing that gap and potentially challenging for a win here.
Actually, Kobe did lose a lot of time. 3.6 now over Alex.
Well, he also used a lot more fuel. That GTR, not the best on fuel. As looking, actually, there's a battle for fourth place now as Willy Wonka is leading Dans ahead of PK, ahead of Beckham. This is going to be a fast battle pack here. And looking behind them, we see another battle pack. Just look at the track map in the top right corner. You can just see how close some of these cars are.
Everywhere you look, it's just battle for position. It's amazing to see, like, it really is.
Back to the battle for fourth place. Dan's actually caught up to the back of Willy Wonka and brought PK and Beckham with him.
Yeah, PK may have lost a spot in the pits. Oh no, that because of that'd be why. Oh no, actually, I think PK was.
Willy Wonka goes wide on bridge. Willy Wonka goes wide on bridge, gets it back on track just enough time, but he's going to lose position to Dans and possibly PK. See, as they're halfway along the bridge here, PK's going to be alongside, but Willy Wonka will have the inside. Can PK carry speed through at the outside? Or will he have the dirty air and have to back out of it? He gets loose and he'll have to back out of it.
That's because there's a nasty bump at turn 9 now. It really is. And settles the car.
Back to looking at for second place here. Chile 6 seconds over Alex. Will Kobu's 3.6 behind Alex. But once again, Chile and Alex both on the mediums. And Kobu is on the softs.
You would have think Kobu would have caught up to Alex, but it looks like he hasn't. Just yet.
You see, the gap is it's closing fast. It is closing fast.
It is closing, yeah, but that's just on the straightaway. When it comes to corners, it's still the case that the Beetle is still more superior than the Nissan.
I wonder if this stint for Alex Rogers, if he thinks he has any chance to win this race, I wonder if his idea for this stint on the mediums is just really to save a lot of fuel, short shift almost the entire stint. And that way when he makes his pit stop for a next set of soft tires, he tries to undercut Chile in the pits. I wonder if that's a strategy for the stint.
But then if you'd think about it, will he lose a lot more time to Chile if he's saving fuel?
That is true, so he really has to try and balance it unless Chile's trying to do the same, but Chile seems to be kind of building that gap, so it's going to be a hard stint for Alex Rogers, but I think that's what he's going to need to do. And looking at the gap between him and Kobu, just from the start-finish line to La Casbah now, it's 2.5 compared to, what, the 3.3 that it was? Ooh, Alex Rogers goes wide through La Casbah.
Not really any harm there, it's just a little kiss. But look at this battle going on for fourth place here. Like, are you seeing it? There you are. Look at this. There's just everywhere you look really trying to attempt to pass on Dan to try to put him off, but that's not going to work. Dan's is far too experienced for that.
There's so much action to call here. And even back at 8th place, you can see back behind the stage just the battles that are forming. You have Lon, 9, Jake, Dan, Harry, and 10th as your super bumper to bumper, and back behind them, you even have there's Nugatti trying to make a pass on CRubennnn, and then the Maddie behind him.
When you said after qualifying, sorry.
No, that was just a very iffy moment there from Nugatti. Goes wide to this corner, has to back out of it, almost running into the back of Croix after he makes a mistake, but holds on to it.
I was just about to say when we saw Nugatti make that mistake there. You said after qualifying there was 3 drivers that could potentially win the race. I'm guessing that's the top 3 right there.
Yeah. But there's one thing I'd like to think I know, it's racing. I'm actually looking at the gap. Yeah, Chile has opened it up actually to 6.7. Well, Kobu's closed the gap to Alex, so I think Alex has to be doing a bit of fuel saving here to try and close that gap to Chile in the pits. He lost so much time to Chile behind Kobu GT in that first stint that I think this is his only chance that he has of winning the race, is to claw it back in the pit lanes. As we're at 13 minutes remaining, so I expect maybe one more stop. But will he gain 7 seconds in a pit stop? I don't know. I don't think he can.
I think that's too big of a gap, to be honest with you. We thought that Sedegma, we thought if Chile would catch up to Alex, it was about, what, 3 seconds, and he couldn't do it. So 7 seconds, I think that's an insurmountable task.
And building, it seemed, for at least a little bit there. Actually, no, maybe he's calling it. Nope, it's building again. But Kobu is within a second now, so he's going to start getting the slipstream from the Beetle in front of him.
I was just about to say, if he's not careful with safety, Kobu is catching him.
Looking back to the battle for 4th place. Willy Wug actually managed to get by Dan's, but PKMZ's looking at the inside of Dan's as well. Not quite. Actually, Stig, you can just see him in the back of the shot, is closing up to that battle for 4th place.
Yeah, he's been a man on a mission. He's also set the fastest lap of the race, not the lap record. 207.024. Still fast, but not good as what lap record that Kev Meister did in the race last season. But he is slowly, methodically catching to this 4-car train for 4th place.
He is, and so we got 2 close battles happening on track. We got Kobu GT and Alex Rogers for 2nd place, and then we have a 5-car battle for 4th place. Just under 12 minutes remaining here at St. Croix. As Alex goes defensive over Kobu GT, will Kobu try to carry speed on the outside, maybe go for an undercut here? This sector isn't going to favor him, but he is on the soft tires, so he actually might be able to maintain that gap through this sector.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time. I think Kobu's just got to be a little bit patient. Mount down to 4, and then hopefully he could just go by Alex on the Francis straightaway. It's just got to be at least maybe within about half a second. Within a half a second, he can get by Alex.
Alex really had to put the hammer down through that sector to try and build that gap for this straightaway. He really had to open it up. He had to gain half a second there because he knew Kobu would be able to pass him on the straightaway without any issues.
Here he comes. Here he comes.
Halfway along the straightaway, he's got the power. As he look to the inside, will Alex go defensive? He does. Kobu GT's going to squeeze him. He's going to squeeze him, but Kobu GT will take 2nd place, but can he hold it? Will Alex go for the undercut? Kobu GT tries to park it, and Alex into the back of him.
Contact. I thought there was a bit of contact between the 2 of them.
No damage to either car? No.
No damage at all, but they will have to pit.
So
and also, I've just looked here, looking at the fuel gauge, Alex is flashing red, and Kobu is just about maybe 20% left of fuel. So Alex is going to be pitting this time by, whereas Kobu, he'll probably might have to pit no, but he has saved more fuel than Alex.
And I'm looking at Chile's fuel, he's in the red as well. So it's possible Kobu GT, I don't think he's going to jump Chile, but he's going to be real close to him. So this actually could be, with 10 minutes remaining, a close race to the finish.
It is. Kobu is on course to equal his best finish in his TNA career because he picked up a 2nd at Autopolis in Season 2. He was driving the BMW. And Chile will be coming in. I wonder if Kobu will stay out. You'd have to imagine that he has to. He is. Oh, this is interesting now.
11% compared to the 2 and 3%. He's on the softs. They can all jump to the softs now. Who will come out in front? It's going to be Chile, but what's the gap?
It's going to have to be a little bit less than what it was, I think you'd think.
What's the gap? Where does Kobu come out? Came out in fifth. Six seconds. He only gained a second by saving 10% fuel. And then he's got lap traffic in front of him, who does have yet to pit, with Dan's PKMZ and Stig all battling for second place currently, but they are slightly out of sequence.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing for Cooper was his Stig, he's got some space, not in dirty air. The Stig is 4.2 ahead of him. And that's his teammate and all, so if Cooper can catch up with the Stig, I'm sure the Stig will move out of the way for.
And then you got Alex Rogers behind Kobu GT as well. So he's within a second, but the power of the GTR is going to pull away from him. Alex Rogers is going to be left to hang out to dry here.
Look at the Stick, he's going to do a double overtake on PK, and he's done it.
Let's get a replay of that. I'm sorry I missed that on the live shout here. So we've got the inside of the exit. He has the power from the draft. And he's just going to power by both cars. Excellent move by the Stig.
Again, all down to that power on the straightaway.
But they have yet to make their pit stops. So they will have to pit for fuel and tires.
Yeah. And tires, yeah. They need to change tyre cup rounds. I think all of them have all changed their tyres, so don't need to worry about that now. But I'm thinking Alex Rogers is starting to close.
He is within half a second.
He's starting to close up there.
I think he closed up through the faster corners, but I think on the straightaways he's going to be able to hold him off. We saw at the start of the race, even Kobu GT on the medium tires held off Alex Rogers. So even if Alex on the same set of tires as him, I don't think he's going to be able to find a way by.
As Stig, Dance, and PK all will make their pit stop. That's going to be a very good battle.
And they're going to come out right in front of Willy Wugg and Beckham, who made their pit stop on the last time by. So it's going to be a close battle for fourth place at the end of this race. And this is basically your top three. These are the top three on your podium. It's Chili, Kobu GT, and Alex Rogers with 7 minutes remaining.
Just noticed that the 6 gone into the 206s now with the fastest lap. Oh! Stiggy and Beckham!
So currently Willy Wugg is ahead of this pack for fourth place. I believe would he become par for his best finish in ARC if he finished fourth?
No, he got a podium in Argos the final round of season 2.
That is right. We have Dance in fifth, Beckham in sixth, Stig in seventh, and PK at the back in eighth. Then we have Jake and Harry leading the next pack on track in ninth place ahead of his teammate Law, Bugatti in 11th, Pro Magner in 12th, Maddie in 13th, and then Contrail at the back in 14th.
Just to note there as well that the Stig has broken Kev's lap record by only 13 thousandths of a second. So new lap record set by the Stig.
I believe that's a lockout. He's got the fastest qualifying lap and the fastest race lap. So the Stig bringing it here to St. Croix, but still the GTR. So the GTR still reigns supreme here. And speaking of GTRs, Kobu GT still in second place ahead of Alex Rogers. Just over 5 minutes remaining. Chile leads with the gap 7.7 seconds. Wugg in fourth, Daniels in fifth, Beckham 6, Stig 7, PK 8, Jake Dan Harry 9, Law 226 and 10th. As he makes a mistake, Law 226 will actually spin at the exit of the bridge and will go all the way back to last place.
Sorry there, I missed something there. What did I miss there?
You missed a mistake from Law, which at the exit of the bridge corner, he goes wide and clips the wall and will spin the car around.
Oh, and he just clipped the edge of that barrier in the two, so that will pick up some damage on that Toyota. Yes, he has got front and front right suspension damage, but Law, disappointing start to his TNA debut.
Back at the front of the field, we still got Kobu GT ahead of Alex Rogers. The gap 3/10 now. So if Alex Rogers is going to find any time by, it's probably going to be this lap through this sector.
Oh God, that worries me how quickly that Nissan is through turns 3 and 4.
Not quite close enough to get it done yet. Alex Rogers looked at the inside, maybe he got him on braking, but he's not quite him in power. And you can just see the gap the GTR builds, that Beetle gets smaller and smaller.
You feel turns 2, 3, 4, and 5. 3.45 is probably the best place that Alex could make a pass on Coburn, because the rest of it is just like pretty much long straight. It's like here the Francis straight, and then you got Bridge, which is a pretty decent straight too. Turn 11, Rosie 8 to turn 12 is a bit of a straight. Lavalette, and then Arno. It's realistically the best place that Alex can maybe. If he could force Cooper into mistake after Bellevue and then going into turns 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's logically that's the only way that Alex can pass from Cooper.
That turbo, I believe it's a turbo V6. Is it twin turbo? Twin turbo V6. That Nissan GTR definitely has the torque out of the corners to build that gap over the Beetle, though. Chile still at the front. 3.5 minutes remaining. 7.6 seconds is the gap.
Sorry, I just saw the stick running wide through Muno. Nearly a carbon copy of what Law did a lap ago. But stick held on to that Nissan.
I believe they'll have time for one more lap. So this next lap should be the final lap. Still leads over Dan's, over Beckham, over Stig, over PK. Ahead for the battle for fourth. The gaps between the cars seem to have evened out, but hopefully in the last lap here it closes right on down. The battle for second, it's still Kobu GT over Alex Rogers. Can they stay in it? Chile has the fuel, Alex has the fuel, but can Kobu stay in it for an extra lap and a half?
Yeah, I think Chile's got this one in the bag. It's could have been the battle for second place, although Alex looks like he's dropped back a lot on Kobu.
He has dropped back a lot, especially through this sector. Is he trying to save fuel because he doesn't think he can make it to the end?
I think, you can make it to the end, all right. I wonder if just consolidating possibly a third place finish, maybe.
I think that's the only thing I can think of at this point. It's just that he knows he can't pass Kobu on the straights, and there's no enough corners here for him to actually make the move on to Kobu. So I think he's just going to sit in the third place right now. He's not going to risk trying to throw it away with Kobu and hope that Kobu makes a mistake. Meanwhile, Willie Wugg still ahead of Dan's, ahead of Beckham, ahead of PK, ahead of Stig. Excuse me, Stig ahead of PK. Chile at the front though. And at 40 remaining, will he have enough time for another lap?
Yeah, I think they will. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they will.
Ooh, but Alex Rogers actually closed up to Kobu. Kobu must have made a mistake at some point, because the gap to Chile has opened up and now Alex Rogers is all over the back of him.
We'll have a look at a replay. Let's see if... I'm looking at the bridge. Don't think he made a mistake at the bridge, no?
Alex Rogers still doesn't have the room to get by, but he late brakes on the inside. He goes for it. They're side by side, but Kobu will carry speed, but Alex will get on the throttle earlier, side by side, but Kobu will still hold second place. That was Alex's best chance, and he couldn't get it done.
But there's still going to be one lap left, so again, the chance that Bellevue could happen. Like I said, here we go. This will be the last lap.
This is Alex Rogers in the closest that he can be for the draft. He's going to pull out. He's going to try and go for it. They're side by side. Will he get it into turn one? This is his second and only ever chance he's going to get.
He's got it. He has it.
He does have it, but Kobu GT is going to have the straight line speed. If he can hold it through here, he might be able to take it back. This will be the final lap.
Side by side going on for sixth place between Beckham and the Stick. Stick nearly ran out wide. But I would concentrate for the battle for second place here, Lato, because I don't think that's not going to be finished just yet.
Less than a second separate them through the sector. We knew the GTR was going to be slow there. 1.2. Alex Rogers might have been able to eke it out, but he goes wide on the exit, and that's going to cost him exit speed. That's going to hurt him on this long straightaway. Or does it? Does Kobu also make a mistake? He does. The gap to Alex Rogers keeps increasing.
I'm looking at Kobu's fuel. Kobu might be fuel saving because
he doesn't have enough. That's not enough to make it halfway. He has to fuel save.
Oh, so Alex will definitely get second place, but will he stay on the podium? The gap now down to 5 seconds between Kobu to that battle raging on for fourth place.
And the gap keeps dropping, under 5 seconds now, but back at the front of the field, a few more corners to go. The gap 10 seconds. Chile leads Alex Rogers. The man who thought he couldn't get it done, who thought he wasn't as good as Alex Rogers or Dan's, now leads the race. First race of the season finishes third. Second race finishes second. And now in the third race, he looks to come home in first place. 2 more corners to go for Arc Chili before he takes his very first win in the GR3 season.
I think Coolboot is running on fumes as the what potentially would be a brand new race winner. Chili. I'm still keeping an eye on Coolboot because Coolboot's running out of fuel.
He rounds the last.
He's out. Sorry. Chili wins.
So this is a battle for third now. This is a battle for third. Last corner. Will Willy Wug actually get the podium?
He does. Shit,
does Dan's run out? Does Dan's out? Does Dan's out?
He's out.
Dan's is out.
Yeah, he's out of fuel again. Can PK get by him? No, he just finished the line. That would have...
No, PK did get him. PK did get him for 5th.
Oh, he did.
So your top 3 is Chili taking his maiden win, Alex Rogers in 2nd, and Willy Wug in 3rd.
Gee me. This race never seems to amaze me. I'll tell you, that race, this track's got to be in season 4, don't you think?
It has to be. It's like the home track for Arc at this point. So there's your finishing order for Tier A. And your winner with his first ever victory, Chili.
I tell you what, you should change his name to ARC on fire because that's just what he literally is right now. 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. He is on another planet here.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That was our season, race 3 of the GR3 season. Wow.
And you know, there's like another 3 rounds left of it. Yeah, I can't call it that. I'm Chili. I really am. I think even Alex is too, looking at the chat.
Kobu went from 2nd to 12th after running out of fuel.
Oh man,
Let's pull up the race result just to be sure here. Yep, to 12th, ahead of Nugatti and Law, so even Matty Concho got by him. A huge mistake from Kobu after having just an excellent race. But that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. So some heartbreak, but there are also some joyous moments to be had here. Now we'll be right back momentarily for driver interviews. Let's go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are now back for driver interviews.
We're into the second pit stop.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We're not driving it.
All right, so we're here now for driver interviews. Let's start off with your race winner, ladies and gentlemen. Chili, are you here?
Yep, I finally did it.
You finally did it. After all this time, the first race of the season you were third, second race you were second, and finally in the third race of the season you're at the top of the podium. How does it feel?
I don't know. I would rather have won last week, to be honest, because it was a closer battle. I sort of just stayed out of trouble on this one, and did my thing, and yeah. I mean, I think Alex definitely helped with the battling Kobu, because it definitely slowed both of them down. So it just allowed me to break the slipstream. And once I was away, that was it. It's a huge weight off my shoulders, though. I'm glad I got it.
Well, it was a very good race, a very quiet race for you at the front, even in terms of pit stops. Most of the battling did happen behind you for that second place between Alex Rogers and Kobu. But now we do have a 1 week break if you don't happen to be racing in the endurance event we're running next weekend to Nürburgring. So, I gotta ask you, are you looking forward to that?
So I love it from an aspect of it's a challenge, but I'm not looking forward to it for performing well. It's definitely not gonna suit me. Although I've said that about this track. So it'll be a case of if I can be consistent enough on it, then I'm looking for a good solid result. But it should be good fun to drive anyways. It's going to be interesting in quali, considering that everyone's only going to have about one lap, or only one lap to do. So it's going to be a bit of a nightmare to get some space there. But I think once I need to just practice it, learn a strategy, and then again just execute it during the race weekend.
Well, I'm sure I speak for everyone when I say, get in there, Chili! Alright, man. You enjoy your rest of the day.
Thank you very much, man.
Alright, let's go on to our second place finisher, Alex Rogers. Alex, are you here?
Hey, lap.
So, Alex, I gotta ask you about that first stint between you and Kobu. He started on the medium tire. You started on the softs, and you just couldn't get way by him.
Can I just say before we do anything, right? Well done, Chili, man, because he dominated it entirely, killed it, absolutely killed it. Right. So yeah, well done, Chili. But yeah, first stint, you can't overtake the GTR in a straight, so I just saved a load of fuel. That was pretty much that. That was I was never looking to win the race anyway. I was just looking to get as high up the order as possible. So Kobu actually dragged me along like loads to the point where I was in contention for a podium, and I was more than happy with that at that stage of the race. So it worked out quite well, really, because I could have got dragged back into the fields, ended up battling 5th, 6th places like that, and it would have been a much different race. So yeah, I was quite happy with how that first stint panned out, in all honesty.
It seemed you had quite a battle with Kobu, especially towards the end of the race there, battling back and forth. We didn't quite catch it on camera. Did Kobu make a mistake around the bridge on the last lap, or did he just realize that he was running out of fuel there?
I'd overtaken him into turn 1 on the last lap, but I think he was having fuel issues on the straight, because I was powering past him in the Beetle, which wasn't normal. Yeah, we had a great battle actually. Kobe's got a couple of lag issues, which meant we had a couple of touches here and there, but I mean, it was all good, there was nothing major. He put up a good fight, but I just pushed him too hard and he ran out of fuel in the end, I guess.
Alright, well, you had an excellent result on a track that many would say does not favor your vehicle for the season. But in 2 weeks' time, we have the next race at Nürburgring, a race that you did win in the endurance event that we ran, I believe it was last season. So, you looking forward to that one?
Yeah, I'm really happy I minimized the damage on this track. I don't think I could have done much better, to be honest with you. So that was really good. And yeah, looking forward to the Nordschleife. See what it brings. I think it might suit the Beetle a bit better because it's a lot more start carrying speed through corners, putting together a good lap. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. I think we're in for a good race. I think the Citroen will be strong again, even though Chili says it won't. I think we're in for another good one. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it pans out. And it's going to be at night, which is going to make it mental. So yeah, that'll be good.
That it will be. Hopefully we get to see you on the top step of the podium there in 2 weeks' time. Good race from you today, and congratulations on your second place.
Yeah, thanks, Lat. Cheers, guys.
All right, let's toss it over to the man who could have been second in a heartbreaking finish, Kobu GT.
What's up?
Well, as I just mentioned, it was a bit heartbreaking there after what was a very strong race from you today.
Yeah, it was just a mathematical error. Also, I went for a more conservative strat, which ended up biting me. Definitely should have went more aggressive. So yeah, just super disappointing that I ran out of fuel.
Well, your result might not have been strong. It should be still good points overall for your Team Good Smile Racing. You got a couple of GTRs up there into your race. Did manage a good result for your team up into 4th place after your mistake. So at the end of the day, it's not a huge loss overall for your team, but hopefully we can see everyone learn from mistakes. In 2 weeks' time, Nürburgring, you're in the GTR. How are you feeling about that?
I actually pretty like the green hell a lot. It's been a while since I've practiced there, so I'm probably gonna have to spend the whole week just getting used to it again. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for it. I like the GTR around there a lot, although I might hold up some of the better turning cars if I quali high, if possible. So I might hold them up just because the turning's not that great, but who knows? It's gonna be a good race.
All right, well, hopefully we get to see some stronger results from you in the rest of the season. You have to be on point this season in your favorite car, so hopefully we get to see you back on the podium soon.
Thank you.
And let's move it over to PKMZ. PK, are you here? Hello, PK.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, PK, fairly quiet race from you, but we did see you battling quite a bit there in the pack for 4th place between you, Dan's, Willy Wug. How was that battle? How was that battle between all of you going? What was your strategy throughout most of it?
My strategy was fairly aggressive, which probably wasn't the best idea for a car with very poor top end. But I probably could have been a bit more conservative, as I nearly ran out of fuel going into the second pit stop. But it was grand enough, like, you know. I didn't make many mistakes, thankfully, but yeah, just mostly a following game for most of the race.
I have to mention, you did improve a lot from your qualifying time, and qualifying for this year hasn't quite been the best for you. The first race of the year, we saw you qualify back in Lobby B. In the second race, it was a good result from you, so it was a solid result, but on a track that heavily favored the Porsche 911. But out here at St. Croix, the qualifying wasn't as good, but you worked your way up through the field. What did you have to do? What did you have to adjust for this race to make the 911 work at St. Croix?
It was mostly picking the right targets for slipstreaming, because obviously St. Croix doesn't actually really favor the Porsche here, so kind of picking out the right people to slipstream, kind of being patient, you know, not getting into any trouble is what really worked for the Porsche here. So
alright, and as I mentioned with all the others, in 2 weeks time it's the Green Hell Nürburgring at night. You're in the 911. How are you looking forward to it?
I'm really looking forward to it. I'd say it's gonna be the highlight of my season, because just I think it will suit the Porsche better, and yeah, see how it pans out really.
Alright, well, hopefully we get to see you back on the podium at some time soon, and good luck throughout the rest of the season.
Thanks, Darren.
Alright, and that will conclude our driver interviews for today. So once again, everyone, thank you for joining us here at our race here at St. Croix. It's been an excellent race, an awesome one to call. We hope you all enjoyed watching it. Don't forget to like and subscribe on the YouTube videos. It means a lot to us. We just passed our milestone of 150 subscribers, so hopefully 200 comes quite soon. Don't forget to share it around if you happen to know people that are also into racing. It means a lot. It helps us build viewership, helps us add more people to the community, and the more people we add, the more competitive it gets, the more legitimate it gets. So please do that. It means a lot to us. But once again, thank you for watching. It means so much to us that you come here and enjoy these races with us. It's a blast to call, and it's a blast to race in. And if you ever want to join ARC, there's a link in the description below to join the Discord. That way you can hop in any of the races that we run at any time. So it's open to everyone, anyone that wants to race. So as I said this for the third time now, thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. And don't forget to keep racing.